Well, hello. Happy Monday. Welcome to this week's episode of Monday Motivation Moment with Rachel, where each week I come live and share with you a nugget of wisdom and inspiration for your journey, especially your business journey, but also for your life. And this week I want to talk about this idea of who am I, right? Who am I to put myself out there? Have you ever felt that way? I have too. Where does that come from? Self doubt. Ouch. So, my Facebook memory this morning that kind of triggered this particular episode is a powerful, powerful quote by Dr. Miles Monroe that says, "The most powerful weapon anyone can use against anyone is self doubt." Dang. Think about that for a moment. Have you ever doubted yourself? Of course. We all have, right? Who amongst us has never doubted themselves? I don't think that exists. But what did it do? Did it give you courage to move forward? No. Right? There's a reason we use these words encourage and discourage. When we encourage someone, we're literally breathing courage into them. We are imparting courage into them. But when we feel discouraged, it is taking away our courage. And so many times that comes from self-doubt. Now, I totally get that you feel that way, and I want to share my own personal experience. So in 2019, I started the Brand Boss Show podcast. And to be honest, I didn't have any grandiose ideas for it, right? I had even a different business at the time. Same field, different business. And I just knew I needed to start the show. And the reason that I started the show was because I have been in marketing now for 23 years. And I really did not like the prevailing attitude that is not across all agencies, but in many agencies and much marketing conversation, that we know what we're doing and the business owner is stupid. It's not true. You are the business owner. At the end of the day, nobody knows your business better than you do. But I digress. So that's a conversation for a different day. So I started this podcast to educate business owners what branding is, what it isn't, what makes it work, not work, etc., marketing, all the things, so that they wouldn't be manipulated or feel at the mercy of other people telling them what to do for their business and throwing money at things that just didn't work. Can I tell you, I had no gear, I had no microphone. I started speaking into the voice memo app of my phone, standing in the closet to mitigate noise. That's how I started the Brand Boss Show. And then this very unexpected thing happened. People started calling me the brand boss. And at first, I was super not comfortable about that. I was like, nope, don't make this about me. This isn't about me. This is about you. This is about empowering you to rock your brand like a boss. And I kept deflecting it, right? How many times in life do we do that? How many times are we receiving an invitation to greatness and we push it away? Let me share with you a nugget of wisdom that came to me not that long ago that has really, really stuck with me. Don't allow disappointment to disappoint you. Ooh, that's real. That hits deep. Don't allow disappointment to disappoint you. Do you know you have been appointed for greatness? You have been designed for it. It is literally wired into your DNA. So why is it then we have this invitation to more that we push it away and we deflect it, right? Don't call me the brand boss. It's not about me. It's about empowering you. I will give you 3 reasons that I see most common people doing it. The first one is imposter syndrome. That goes deep. We will have a whole other conversation about that a different day. And there is a powerful episode, my #1 most downloaded episode on the Brand Boss Show, deals exactly with that with my dear friend Julia Winston on how to overcome imposter syndrome. Go check that out. But it's a real thing. Now, what does the name imposter syndrome apply? Right? So if you're an imposter, you're somebody who is showing up as who you're not really. Right? There's that great movie, Catch Me If You Can. And, Leonardo DiCaprio is being a doctor and a scientist and all these things, right? He is being an imposter in all of those things. He's not really a doctor. He's not really a, whatever those other roles are. When we fall into this idea of imposter syndrome, we have this thing in our heads. I'm just going to call it what it is, this lie, right? Oh, well, that's not really who I am. That's not really who I am. If imposter syndrome is at play, that means that we are not actually seeing and believing who we are. I'm going to say that again. When imposter syndrome is at play, that means we are not actually seeing ourselves and believing who we are. We are afraid that if we put ourselves out there, which, by the way, I don't even love that phrase. I'm going to come up with a better phrase for that one of these days. But we're believing that if we put ourselves out there, if other people see us on display, we're going to be seen as an imposter. Let me ask you a question. Is there anyone else in the world exactly like you? There isn't. Does anyone have your exact same fingerprints? Does anyone have your exact design, your exact DNA, your exact makeup? No. No, you are as unique as the snowflakes and the raindrops that fall. If you look around at all of nature, which I love nature, if you look around at nature, every single facet of nature is beautiful and brilliant in its uniqueness. There are so many signs and indications, even on a molecular structure, right? How no one human being is exactly like any other human being on earth, not only on earth, but that has ever lived until now. You are unique. You are the only you that there is. So if you are the only you, and you are showing up as who you are, how could you possibly be an imposter? So many times when it comes to imposter syndrome, we then fall into, okay, well, I have to make myself look this way. I have to appear this way. I have to show up as this way so that I'm not seen as an imposter. Guess what? When you are showing up as something other than who you are, as someone other than who you are actually showing up at that moment as an imposter. Ouch! But that's real. And so many times we keep this fear of not wanting to be seen as an imposter playing small. Like we keep ourselves playing small. We keep ourselves hidden. We hide our light. We hide our brilliance. Oh, I don't need to put myself out there. I don't need other people to see this, because we're so afraid of being seen as an imposter, when in fact, when we are not showing up as who we are in the fullness of who we are, that, my friend, is when we are actually showing up as an imposter. And there is some tough love truth. So that's the number one reason I see, and I've dealt with, holding myself back, deflecting the invitation to greatness that's being presented to me, because I'm terrified of being seen as an imposter. When the reality is, I am the only me. You are the only you. And when we truly show up in the fullness of our authentic selves, there is no possible way we could ever be an imposter, because there is no one on earth exactly like you, nor has there been, nor will there be again. So when we have the courage to be who we are, there is no way we could ever show up as an imposter. And when we get that deep inside, when we know that to be true about ourselves, when we know that we know that we know that we know that we know, then we can receive that invitation to greatness. Because, by the way, that invitation to greatness is simply the invitation to be who you are, because greatness was already wired into you since before you were born. Here's the second reason I see people deflecting and holding ourselves back from the invitation to greatness that's being presented to us. With that phrase, putting ourselves out there, being discoverable so we can be discovered. Something I like to call false humility. And yeah, I'm going to call false humility because it's something that I had to learn myself. So even as I shared in my story that I was like, no, don't call me the brand boss. It's not about me. It's about empowering you to rock your brand like a boss. What was I doing? I was being humble, but I was really deflecting. Can I tell you something that was spoken to me pretty directly? Humility is a beautiful thing. And we think that humility is an act of love and service. And it is. Don't hear what I'm not saying, right? Humility is important. But can I tell you, there is a line between humility and false humility. And if you are saying, I don't need to show up because I don't need it to be all about me. I don't need to be on display because I don't need it to be all about me. I hear you and I get that, and I've been with you. But let me present this perspective for your consideration. How many times do we hide behind humility and use that as an excuse to play small? Ouch. How many times do we hide behind humility and use that as an excuse to play small? Can I tell you, I have done that. And I didn't see it for the longest time, but for so long, I went around serving everybody else and promoting everybody else and doing all the things, and those are well and good. But you know why? Because I saw their value is up here and mine is down here. Ouch. There's some more tough love truth. And it wasn't until I was confronted with that reality that I could see, hey, you know what? That's all still wonderful. That's all still good. But if I am doing that, and not at the same time showing up as myself, promoting myself, then I am actually doing a disservice to the people that I'm here to serve. Because I can hide behind humility all day long and think that I'm doing a great thing. But if I have something that you need, that I have, and I am holding that back and I am not showing up so that you can find it and receive the solutions that I have for you and the breakthrough that I have for you and the encouragement and the inspiration that I have for you and the uniqueness that I bring to the table that you can benefit from, if I am letting humility hold me back from that, then can I be frank? And again, this is something else that was spoken to me and I was like, oh, that hurts good, right? By the voice of wisdom. When I am hiding behind humility and not receiving the invitation to greatness, not showing up in the fullness of who I am, then it's actually not humility, it's selfishness in disguise. Ouch! Ouch! That burned good, right? Why? Because if I have what you need, and I am not showing up in the fullness of who I am so that you can receive what I have for you, then I'm keeping it to myself. And I'm letting humility cause me to play safe. And I'm letting humility cause me to play small. And it feels safe and it feels secure. But I'm not actually prioritizing the fact that you need what I have. When I stopped thinking about, oh, it doesn't need to be all about me. Oh, I just need to be hidden. I just need to be. When I came face to face with the reality, which by the way is true for you too, friend. When I came faced with the reality that what I have is what you need, that I am put here on purpose, for a purpose, that there is a uniqueness that I carry that you need. There are solutions that I have. There is breakthrough that I have for you. There are all these things. It might be a smile. It might be a word of encouragement for your day. But when I came face to face with the reality that it's not just about me, it's about you. It's about putting myself out there. I know I hate that term, but it's about allowing myself to be on display so that you who need what I have can find me and connect with me, and so I can give you what I have that you need. When that came into perspective for me, everything shifted. So now when I show up on camera, when I do my podcast, when I have my brand photo shoots, when I do my selfies, when I do my, crazy videos in my Instagram stories, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's actually greater humility for me to do those things and put myself out there because I am doing it for you. I am doing it so that what I have that you need can get to you. The same invitation is in front of you today, friend. There is someone waiting for you to show up. And I know that it is so easy to stay comfortable in our own humility. But how many times is that humility actually selfishness in disguise? Again, don't hear what I'm not saying. Humility is important. It's a beautiful thing. But if the motivation of my heart is to not be seen because I'm afraid, nothing good ever came out of fear. But if the motivation of my heart is to be seen so I can help you, this is humility on display. Here's the third reason I see that people hold themselves back from receiving the invitation to greatness, from showing up in the fullness of who we are. Putting ourselves out there. We talked about imposter syndrome. We've talked about humility. Now this is the third one. And the third one, very simply, is we don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know where to start. What do I do? I'm overwhelmed. I've got all this stuff. I don't know. But what about this? But who should I be talking to? Where should I be showing up? Okay, that's all real. Can I tell you, everything that I am sharing with you right now, I have walked this journey myself the past few years. From embracing my identity as the brand boss, which was step one, right? And realizing that's not an imposter. That's who I was created to be. Secondly, humility versus selfishness. And okay, I'm going to put myself out there. Okay, but where do I start? How do I begin? How do I do this thing? Right? It can be scary. It can be overwhelming. We can be at a loss sometimes of like, okay, I'm willing to do that, but how do I connect with the right people? Yeah, I totally get it. I've been there too. And that's why I want to hold your hand and walk you through step by step, every step of this journey with you. And so I want to invite you into my 12-week Own Your Difference personal branding coaching program. Very simply, this is what it's about. Who are you? Who are you not? What is the experience that goes around showing up fully as your authentic self? What would it look like for you to show up fully as your authentic self so that the people who need you can find you? And then, how do we get that message to the right people in the right ways, right? All of these things we've just been talking about, I'm going to hold your hand and walk you through every step of this journey because it's the journey that I've walked too. So, if that intrigues you, I will put the link in the show notes here for you. You can go check it out and learn more because I would be so honored to help you take this journey from deflecting the invitations to greatness to welcoming them, stepping into them fully, showing up as your full, authentic self so the people who need you can find you. And finally, I want to close this week's Monday motivation moment with the brand boss with a super powerful quote I heard long ago, and it has stuck with me ever since. Just let this truth wash over you, friend. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, Who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And it's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson, A Return to Love. That's true. And there is literally brain science that backs that up. When we let go of our own fear, we give others permission to do the same. Who are you to put yourself out there? Who are you not to? You are brilliant. You have something to offer this world that no one else does and can the way that you do. You were made for greatness. You were literally wired for it from before you were born. And there is an invitation being given to you. Will you step into that? Will you shine your light so that others can as well? That's the thought I want to leave you with on this week's Monday Motivation. Be who you are. That is exactly who this world and who your world needs you to be. I will see you next week. Keep rocking.